Hello ladies and gentlemen and stuff paws of YouTube, my name is Master Rolfus and I'm here to continue our Let's Play of the All Civilizations Challenge, starring yours truly, the mighty nation of the Indonesians. So, when we left off, we were just about, ready to conquer the South Africans, and I remember I said in the last part that I would declare war next turn, and I've changed my mind. I will actually not declare war next turn, simply because of many reasons. One, bombers. If what I'm seeing is true, then Mr. Shaka Zulu has 19 oil to spend. What is he going to spend it on? A shit ton of bombers. And those bombers can really put a dent in my naval forces. So what I want to do is gather all my forces up into one giant blob and then attack both of these cities at the same time and then conquer them both and establish a beachhead. So that I may be able to annex these cities and then buy anti-aircraft guns from them. Also, here's another thing. I'm thinking that because there's mountains over here blocking the natural city expansion of Ondina or Odini, I'm starting to believe that there may be an inner city over here in this fog of war because I see markets and farms, which means that I don't think Ondina owns the oil wells. I think it's an inner city, which means we're going to have to make it imperative to get our land forces onto the mainland of South Africa, which means we're going to have to wait. So sorry about that, guys, and I'm sorry also for not recording as much civilization as I should be, as, you know, much Parthia Let's Play as I should be, you know, not uploading to you guys enough videos, and it's due to the fact that, one, my computer has been overheating like crazy recently. Right now, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I've maxed my CPU fans all the way to 100%, and I'm not sure if it's going to help at all, to be honest, because of the fact that the computer just overheats like crazy. I don't know what it is. I cleaned my fans. I have new thermal paste. I just don't know what it is anymore. Maybe the computer's just getting old, so that's a problem I have to deal with. And I've just been busy because I have college, so I need to plan everything out. And unfortunately, this is the third take of my recording of this civilization Let's Play part because of the fact that, well, my computer overheats. I had like, what, 2 hours of footage to show you guys, and then all of a sudden, bam, shut down. And because I'm using DxTory doesn't stop at the spot that your computer shuts down. So the problem is that the entire file is corrupted and I can't use it, and I'm fucked, pretty much. So I'm sorry about that. It's kind of the machinations that I have to deal with, which is a little bit stupid. But everything else is okay, really. I just need to really adhere to a schedule, I think, because once I do, the recording's gonna be so much easier. But the computer's really holding me back. Like, I just like to open up my computer, record, and blah blah. But no, I have to go through the process of this is overheating, that's overheating. I'm getting really hot because the computer is hot as fuck. In fact, hold on. It smells like a fucking barbecue in there. God damn it. I might change my computer to something even more high-tech, probably. Because I need to future-proof myself as well, considering that YouTube is getting a lot bigger in my life. We've almost reached 1,500 subscribers. And to those people, thank you. I don't know why you're subscribed to me, because I am the most despicable person on the planet. And I talk about nothing but boobies all day long. But thank you for loving my booby talk. Maybe it's because you like boobies that you like me. I'm not sure, really. You know what? I have an interesting thing to say about... Hold on, let me just scout out this place. Yikes. Damn. Shorty got that fucking army. I have a few things to say about the state of strategy games while I move my forces all throughout the planet right now. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, oh no, not another rant about Total War Rome 2. I've already heard about those and stuff like that, but no, I'm just talking about strategy games as a whole. So, as you guys know, I'm a strategy game channel. I play strategy games, I do Let's Plays out of them, I'm starting to make more guides and more tutorials out of them, and I'm expanding my library more and more. I'm doing an indie called Planetary Annihilation, I'm doing this worthless piece of shit, and I'm doing Rome 2, and I'm going to continue doing Rome 2. Now, goddamn, I forgot to forget. While I've been sort of on this journey, I've noticed kind of how a strategy game should play out and what requirements a strategy game needs in order to be fun. And I know that's a little bit, you know, full of myself to believe that I can decipher whether a strategy game can be fun or not. And, you know, all this is my opinion, pray tell. So, you know, I'm completely different than your opinion, and you're completely different to my opinion. That's okay. That's fine. We're humans and stuff like that. But I think I've gone to a point where I've played so much strategy games, I kind of know what I want out of them, and then understand what makes one good and what makes one bad. And with the case of Rome 2, I think I kind of know why Rome 2 is failing so much. And it's not because of the bugs, the graphics, the glitches, and everything. It is, but it's not the sole reason. And I think mostly when it comes down to it, even if you fix the bugs and the graphics and the glitches, the big problem with Rome 2 is that it's a dumbed down version of Rome Total War. It really is. Look, hear me out. Less factions during launch. Unit variety is kind of shit. Like, a lot of the units, even though they said there would be 500 units in Total War Rome 2, there's only really maybe 40 that are unique, and the rest of them are kind of cookie cutter, you know, the same old things over and over again, just with a different spray paint, and not even with different stats as well. Case in point, look at the Eastern Spearmen for the Parthians versus the Pontus and everybody else. Even the Pontus Eastern Spearmen have shields made of bronze, and yet they have the same stats as one of the Eastern Spearmen from Parthia that has a shield made out of wood. Like, what? That is crazy. Why do you do this? Why is there no difference between two of them? I'm not sure. Let's get a cargo ship. So, the unit variety is pretty shit. And then you also peel back the layers of the diplomacy aspect of the game, and then you see, wow, this is lacking. The family tree is not as detailed anymore. The AI, there's less choices than there was before in Shogun 2. Keep in mind, I'm kind of comparing Shogun 2 to Total War Rome 2. So, I'm not comparing Rome 1 to Total War Rome 2, as many people have done so. They have scaled down the multiplayer to the point where it's kind of a little bit of a stupid version of its former self, to be honest. Battles end very quickly, morale drops too low, a lot of units need a lot of rebalancing, and, you know, some factions are just really, really bad at some things, and they just get swept behind. Like, we look at Rome in the Total War Rome 2 multiplayer, and they have all these different type of units and stuff, and it's amazing and wonderful. They're just such a amazing unit and civilization and faction to play with, and you know what, I love them, I make love to them, you know, all that other stuff. But then you take a step back and you realize, wow, the Arverni are really bad at so-and-so. They have very little units. So if the Romans have 30 units, why does the Arverni have 15? I understand that some factions are more superior than others in different aspects, but they should still have, you know, the same number of units, you would think, right? Well, in my opinion, you would think it's a little bit unfair, because some factions, then, you're forced to build only, like, one unit, and that's about it. It's a little bit stupid, so that's kind of the problems with Rome 2. Other than that, you know, less features all across the board as well, not just with diplomacy and multiplayer, but with, you know, stuff like economics, with food, with trade, especially without the trade nodes to fight over. There's a big problem with Rome 2 over how dumbed down it is, how streamlined it is. And I guess the main reason why is because in an interview, CA has addressed that we took out a large portion of the original Total War Rome 2 alpha features to make it more streamlined to users and thus get a better Metacritic score. Like, what? People think like that still? Shit, I thought we were over that. Oh wait, no we're not, apparently. No, we're fucking not. You literally sacrifice the integrity and the complexity of the game in order to adhere to a fucking bullshit rating that some dude living with his mom can make. I could give fucking Rome 2 a 1 out of 10, and I have as much credibility as anyone from Kotaku, it's Kotaku, whatever, fuck it, I'm calling them Otaku now. Otaku, Game Fuckers, IG Dick, or Meta Suck My Penis, for God's sakes. Like, why do they have so much influence over the gaming world? I don't know. I don't. I mean, as much as we need reviewers to check out what games are good and what games are bad, we're basically in a situation where gaming is held hostage by these game reviewer websites. What is going on? Why do we care so much about an arbitrary score? I can't fathom it. It's annoying, really. And that's another problem with Rome 2. How they had to suck Metacritic's dick in order to try and get a good score, and then at the end of the day, it still didn't help out because you pissed off your entire fan base. Some would argue this is the worst Total War in existence, and they're not wrong to think so. With a game that was hyped up as much as Total War Rome 2, you would expect this game to be amazing. You know, they did all the interviews, the rally point episodes, everything. Rome 2 news exploded. And then it became the biggest flop and fucking disappointment of 2013, especially in strategy gaming for 2013. Strategy gaming was already taking kind of a spanking when it came to, you know, video games in general because of MOBA's rise, StarCraft 2's decline, and all other matter of different things like how there's less RTS games and how some RTS games are switching from RTS to MOBA, like an End of Nations. Why? Just why? Why did you think it was going to be a good idea to make your game less complex? Look at Europa Universalis 4. Look at that game. Okay? It may be a little bit more streamlined than, you know, Europa Universalis 3, but it still has the core concept of complexity, of hard-ass fucking AI kicking your ass, and just the acidine nature of the entire game being ass-affecting, ass-atrophic, ass-a-fucking ass. It's such a good-ass game. It's incredible how they're able to maintain the difficulty of that game as well as just the sheer complexity of it and still maintain a high Metacritic score. Hey, Mr. Rome 2, how about you take some fucking notes? I just don't understand it. It's just alien to me, foreign to me. I understand, oh, you need to put food on the table, and in order to do that, you need to sell the most copies. But at the same time, you're a game developer, and essentially, you're an artist. You are an artist. You are creating something for people to enjoy. And yet, what you decide to do is take the easy way route with your creation? I'm sorry, but did fucking Leonardo da Vinci do that? Huh? Do porn stars do that? No, they take the giant 18-incher. They don't take the fucking 2-incher. What is this? Easy mode? No. I just don't understand this. Streamlined. Getting more copies. Like, I don't understand how Streamlined actually also helps a game in some aspects. Maybe I'm just being stupid right now. Maybe I'm overcrossing my boundaries, but I'm going to go off on a tangent. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry about that. But I'm just going to go off on a tangent. Does Streamlined really help? Like, does it really help? Did it really help Rome 2 get as many copies as it should? As it did? Really? Was it really that reason? That was streamlined? That it was easier to understand? No, it wasn't. The only reason why Rome 2 sold as much as it did and got as much hype as it did was because, one, the PR guys are fucking geniuses, and two, the epic scope of Rome 2 to conquer the entire European continent, parts of the Middle East, and then rule all of this territory with one massive, you know, empire. That is a good deal. And then see yourself grow and fight other empires in massive large-scale battles? That's pretty fucking complex. That's not simple at all. It was sold on the basis and the hope and the promise that it would be still a very complex game, and now it's just, I don't know. It's a disappointment all around. I have not seen one person that I know of that is completely satisfied with where Rome 2 has gone. And that scares me. And that just shows you how bad this game flopped. Now, this game can obviously make a comeback as well, because as we've seen clearly from Civilization 5, in its early days it was boring. Vanilla Civ was boring. Now Brave New World Civ is fucking awesome. That's why I play it still, because it's good. It's actually good. So it took a lot, 2 expansions, but at the same time, is it okay for you to make expansions to fix your game? So you make a game and you release it, even though you know it's incomplete, and then you expect your team to make DLCs in order to fix these problems, and then expect, you know, your user base, your fan base to buy these DLCs? I thought DLCs were made to expand upon an already finished content package, not fix a product's mistakes. That's why, even though I love the Civ 5 improvements, I don't like how it used DLC to fix them. I just didn't. And that's something that still sticks to me. See, Europa Universalis has a shitload of DLC, but most of the DLC is optional. And also keep that in mind that most of the DLC also expands upon the already base game. And now Rome 2, from the looks of it, yeah, it's getting patched up, but the core problems are still there. They have still not addressed the core problems of AI, of the campaign being stupid, of the AI being stupid, of the multiplayer games taking such a short time to finish up, how the unit variety is crap, how, you know, everything's pretty much crap. They haven't addressed that. And that's another big problem. And I don't think they're going to be able to address that unless they have an expansion pack. Which means you're going to have to fork over more money to fix a product that you expected would be fixed, but the creators did not fix it. So now they expect you to take money out of your own pocket in order to fix it. Otherwise, you were going to have an incomplete game. I just don't know. That just doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't sit well in my head. I'm a college student. Does it look like I can afford this many fucking DLCs? No, it doesn't. I have bigger and better things to worry about. Like, one, fixing my fucking computer so that, you know, the overheating doesn't, you know, destroy the CPU, the GPU, everything. I'm scared that one day my computer is going to melt my fucking dick off while I'm playing and melt everything inside the computer as well. And that's what I'm scared about. Every single day I play on the computer, I feel like I'm in a fucking sauna, and it's annoying. It's really annoying. So I obviously from the get-go need to have an understanding with other people that I cannot afford all these shiny things, and I need to choose how to use my money wisely. I don't need expansion pack after expansion pack after expansion pack after expansion pack. Oh, flying at my face all the time. I don't need an expansion pack created by some lazy developers or, you know, overconscious developers, or better yet, greedy developers in order to fix my game. I don't need it. And the fact that I do need it shows off how poor, I guess, what's the best word for it? What's the best word? Out of touch the developers are. You know, CA was one of my favorite companies of all time. But then they've, you know, kind of done bullshit thing after bullshit thing. One, the entire kind of way that they advertised the game was pretty bullshit. Like, it was all hype. It wasn't much of anything, really, of showing stuff. You know, they really got their friends together and were like, hey, this game is cool, everybody get hype. Woo, 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 woo. They really didn't go into the, kind of trappings that the game undergoes and stuff like that. And then we can also kind of think about how this game was kind of marketed in a way where, you know, only positive stuff was being said. Not really anything that's, you know, objectified, or any, you know, opinion that was like, hey, I think this game might suck. And it's either that the Rome 2 guys didn't want any opinion of that such to even come out. That's why, you know, it never came into fruition, that opinion. Or maybe, you know, the build that the reviewers... What the fuck? Whatever. Maybe the build that reviewers got was so different than the original game that they gave it a high rating on the basis that the game that they were playing right now was still gonna stay. The same game that they would play during the final release of the game. But nope. It's completely different now. We're going to get world religion, because why the fuck not? Let's become Hindu. Come on, everybody become Hindu. So, yeah, it's kind of a little bit frustrating that during the early parts of the game, it got like 90, 80, you know, all these high numbers and stuff like that. And yet, now it's getting 2.1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. It just shows off how the developers were able to either buy off the reviewers not giving a fuck about how to do their jobs. They don't know how to do their jobs, which is pretty surprising. All you have to do really is critique a video game. Honestly, that's really all you have to do. It's not hard. It's not rocket scientist. No, rocket scientist. That's English 101 for you there. It's not something that takes a large amount of your brain to do. In fact, I think you can masturbate while making a critique of a video game. But the fact that you advertise the game to become literally like the savior of strategy gaming and become a new age and start a new age of strategy gaming and then have all the reviewers backing you is kind of a little bit scary. Now, I'm not saying that, now, maybe I shouldn't say that CA bought out those game reviewers. Like, maybe the game reviewers didn't have a problem with all the situations that were happening within the game. Maybe they didn't mind the AI being brain dead stupid. Maybe they didn't mind all the other stuff. But from what I can tell, I can see this entire game, first being really good, but after several changes made by the developers, it has changed. Maybe the reviewers assumed that things wouldn't change. But like the Great Gatsby once said, foolishly, of course you can always repeat the past. But, unfortunately for him, he died at the end of the fucking movie. And at the end of the fucking book. Because he's stupid. Just like this entire conundrum right now of stupidity. Of how people can sort of believe something can get fixed in about 2.1 milliseconds from a game, and with an expansion pack that can all be done, and everybody should get an expansion pack in order to fix the game up. Like, what? No. And the fact that the reviewers, I guess, assume that, you know, it was all okay, that the game was okay, that the game was all fine and without bugs and everything was okay is kind of a little bit scary. Just shows you how out of touch reviews are as well. Maybe they're all not PC gamers as well. Maybe that's another thing. I've heard sometimes that reviewers are sometimes switch around. They get somebody who doesn't really have experience in one gaming genre in order to kind of get a fresh perspective on the game, which is okay. I understand why you would do that. You don't want a fanboy to kind of critique your game, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm saying all these wild things, and they're probably all of them not true, but at the same time, I have to sit back and realize that what I have in my Steam library is not the Total War I was promised. It's a pretty shitty game. A pretty shitty strategy game. That being said though, let's go over the things that make a strategy game great. First would be the type of strategy game. If you're going for turn-based like Europa Pseudo is, Total War and Civilization, and many other games, you want to go for grand scale. Because of the fact that since it's turn-based, people can think and sort of look at the map and plan out invasions a lot more carefully, which means the maps can afford to be bigger because you're going to pause and spend hours upon hours on one turn, so you can afford to make the map bigger. But if you're playing a real-time strategy game, you can't really make the map bigger because it's always changing, it's always being dynamic, and you can't pause the game and then end your turn and then it moves. Like, that just doesn't work. You have to constantly keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, and keep moving in a real-time strategy game. So, we can already see two different beasts. A real-time strategy game is always not as grand as a turn-based strategy game. And that's because turn-based strategy game, you can stop what you're doing, look at the map, look at what you want to do, and then go on from there. With a real-time, no, that just doesn't work. But that's okay. They're two different beasts. A turn-based excels at more of the economic and diplomatic stuff. So always have chock full of stuff like that. That's what Europa Universalis has, Civilization 4 had, and Total War Shogun 2 had. Real-time strategy games are more of combat. And because of that, there's a higher emphasis on unit variety, on units in general, and on more specialized maps that cater to different strategies. For example, in some StarCraft 2 maps, there's a rock wall that you can destroy in order to block your opponent or deny him access to your base. Pretty smart, pretty good, pretty good. Some maps are more Zerg-centric, some maps are more Protoss, some maps are more Terran. You can tell by how the map is structured. If they have more, I guess, cliffs, and steps and, you know, platforms and stuff like that, it's better for Colossus to kind of go around and just laser beam and stuff like that, since the roaches won't be able to get on top of the platforms and stuff. And, you know, other maps are more marine centric, like the drop ships are heavily used in areas where there's more isolation and stuff like that. And Zergs like open fields. And, you know, tight corners and stuff like that. Well, no. They don't like tight corners. They like to funnel their opponent, surround their opponent stuff. They like open battlefields. Real-time strategy games also have units that are never, ever kind of unusable. That are outdated. That, you know, you can't use 40 minutes into the game. Like, real-time strategy games have a knack for using units throughout the fucking ages, which is pretty awesome. So, for example, if I want to use, let's say, this Siamese elephant against the tank, it's not going to work. But if I want to use a Siamese elephant against the tank in a real-time strategy game, that could work. I would probably lose the elephant, but that could work. Because of how everything's balanced, and how every units have secondary abilities, and how they can evolve throughout the ages, and, kind of just become living badasses. Like, case in point would be the Marine, which is tier 1 unit, and you would expect it to be obsolete. But then, of course, you can upgrade them and make them even more powerful. I guess the only unit that really loses its charm in StarCraft 2 would be the Reaper, but I don't know. There's probably some late game uses for the Reaper. Anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked, though. That's kind of the differences between the two genres. And then Total War is kind of the blend between the both. But it fails in both aspects. That's the big problem with it as well. It doesn't have enough diplomatic stuff, economic stuff, family stuff, not a lot of intrigue. I think they were supposed to have a very good political system with the gravitas and stuff, but they failed at that fucking thing as well. And the real-time aspect is lacking as well, because less unit variety, cookie-cutter maps, and, it's just boring in some aspects. So, yeah, I guess that's really what makes a great strategy game in both turn-based and real-time perspectives. And Total War Rome 2, I don't know. It's just... Total War Rome 2 is something that I can't really put my finger on. Maybe it'll be good later on. I don't know. As you guys have heard in my earlier rant, right now, today, at 5 minutes ago or something like that, that I think the game sucks. Will I continue to play it? Yes. You want to know why I continue to play it? You really want to know why? Because I'm a fucking idiot, that's why. I like to believe that it will get better. And you know what? I honestly like to continue on with this Rome 2 thing. Maybe one patch will change everything. Who knows? Who really knows? You know, you never will know what happens until it happens. And when it does happen, bam. So that's why I'm going to make, I'm going to finish a Rome 2 guide that I've been working on for the multiplayer aspect of the game. Now, the multiplayer aspect isn't as boring as the single player aspect, but it's still, as I said beforehand, really broken. Morale is, pretty shit, and the unit variety shit. However, if they fix the morale, and if they fix some of the units and balance them out and make the matches a little bit longer, I do believe that the multiplayer Rome 2 will be the only redeeming factor of Total War Rome 2. Because Total War games always have fun multiplayer. That's just the basis of them. Sure, maybe the unit variety may be shit. And sure, some of the factions may have, like, shit unit comps in general. Like, oh, I can only spam one unit because 8 of my other units I'll just have 20 attack and 20 armor. But I'm pretty sure maybe with a future patch that will be fixed. I don't know. I don't know, really. So that's my rant. I'm sorry, guys, about that. I had to get off my chest. I just had to get off my chest. I might make a formal video about this, but I'm not sure. I'm already clogged up with videos as it is. I gotta show you guys some civilization stuff. Then I gotta give you guys some Parthia stuff. And get some golden afterwards. Hold on. I'm gonna save really quick before something happens to my save. Hold on.